And we are live. Welcome back to the Core Team Hawaii live stream every Tuesdays, almost every Tuesday. We might miss one or two in a year.
I feel like, oh yeah, I was gonna say I feel like every Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe one or two in a
Even
year.
if it's like you from your garage.
even me from my garage. And then the Hawaii Real Estate Podcast, which we upload to the other platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. We're gonna, as always, go to coreteamhawaii.com. Go to the very bottom of that webpage. There's a contact form. Contact us with any real estate needs you have.
Yeah.
Mahi, stop hitting metal.
I'm trying to like
I'm gonna
center
stop hitting
myself
my-
on the table, but everything I'm doing.
I know
is-
Kenji's over there dying with the
Sorry.
the
My
viewers.
bad. My bad.
So as always, we're gonna do a little bragging at some point and go over our safe surveys. Those are our surveys we do while someone's really hot in escrow, which means that's their stage. So they might be real good looking too. But more than likely, that's just because they're about to buy, sell, or they are actively buying and selling, or they just bought and sold. And we do a survey just to always be touching in, see if they need anything specifically from me or the team that they're not getting. Their own 99+% of the time very positive, and so we use them as a brag. Kenji's like, what do you want to talk about today? I was late because I had problems with contractors.
Oh, did you?
I did, yeah. So that's why I was late to our company meeting.
Okay. I didn't even come. Sorry, guys.
And you had things as well.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean,
Yeah, good topic. That's something that our clients are always asking about.
who's your favorite? If you're watching this now or later, whoever, what contractor, what paint? You have a painter you love? You have a GC, you have a finish carpenter.
Vendors? Who are your favorite, home repair, home remodel vendors that you guys like? Yeah.
I want to learn more about it. I'm not gonna say any names today, but
you can call us.
But I have, you know what I'll say is it's been hard for me. I'm renovating a house right now, and even for me, who you have the certain vendors that really want the relationship. They know that we do a lot of business, and so there's always people that need bathroom remodels and need painting and need whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
I've had a hard time with certain parts of this project, and we have our guys. In fact, one of the persons who has not been real responsive and I'm disappointed in is still actively doing one of our clients right now and doing a great job.
Interesting.
But it was just they're so busy that they're spread thin. So the client took priority.
Mm-hmm.
So now the capacity in which they have to do my house lowered.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just ended up using them.
Yeah.
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 You know who that is already.
I feel like I do.
Yeah.
But I thought you pivoted back.
I did, because he's like, no, let me come on. Let me give you an estimate. I'll get it. Give me the estimate. I'm like, okay, this looks good. I'm down for this. And I just have 3 questions. Simple.
Yeah.
Like, can you add the materials back to this portion? Because I'm not going to go Home Depot and buy that stuff. I don't even know what I'm buying.
Yeah.
So I can add the materials back to that. And then it was just like that was probably the hardest question.
Yeah.
It's like, because I'm not going to know what materials are. I need you to calculate that.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And 2 simple questions. And then the guy, it's been a month. They never got back to me. I think it's been a month. Never did respond. And I even did one, just following up on this. Nothing.
That's interesting, because on one side of the coin, it's like you would expect that because we refer so much business and they do so much work with our clients, that they would like really malama, and be like, oh, on it, Derek. But then on the other side of the coin is, oh, we work a lot with them. So maybe they're like, oh, it's low key because, we're bros.
Maybe.
We're homies.
I think
we work a lot together.
To everyone's defense, my project was not simple, was not easy. And so I had 2 guys who I really wanted, Daniel and Casey. I mentioned them in one of these like 3-4 weeks ago. Both of those guys, I was like, even if they're more, I'm gonna go with one of these guys. They seem solid. No communication, no follow-up, no nothing. So I got it done in the end. Because I have so many contractors in my pocket, in my Rolodex. I'm going back to someone that I've used in the past, and who's very happy and grateful for the work and just eager to get started, and fully competent as well.
Yeah.
Fully competent. And so for the carpentry part, that's happening. For the flooring, got our go-to flooring guy who he's handling that and been very flexible. Actually been the easiest to work with out of all of them.
The same guy did us over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then but today, so the painter is supposed to start today. And the painter calls me and basically says, "Hey, I cannot start. The place is too messy." And so I'm like, as a non-contractor, I'm not carpenters union, I'm not bricklayer, I'm not nothing, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't understand what the expectation should be. I didn't think it was that bad to where you cannot start. Tell me more. So, bro, it's nuts, bro. I think so nuts. Things so nuts. So I cannot start, bro. The thing's so nuts. Okay. So all right, text me.
What does that even mean?
I'm being vague, right? But so text me, send me the pictures. I'll send it to the drywall guy who just went and finished yesterday. So then, the painter's like, in my decades, never seen somebody leave a job like this. That sounds very convincing, right?
Yeah.
If you're ignorant like I am
right.
to it.
Yeah.
The drywall guy is like, bruh, in my decades, never seen one painter not start because one job looked like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll go come back vacuum, but that's it. I'm not doing more. That's crazy, bro. Like, and we know a mutual painter who is too busy to do my house.
Yeah.
And he's like, the guy's name is Randon. He's like, Randon, guarantee he would have just started. You get there in the morning, get a little bit more dust than you thought. You just get to work, bro.
Yeah.
You should get going.
Is this the same painter you were talking about who was like really like about certain things?
Yeah. So.
Okay, so maybe he's just like anal retentive by personality trait.
So go clean him then.
Yeah. I mean, not backing him up, but I'm like, that's a weird thing.
I don't know, right?
Maybe that's just his weird thing.
So, maybe you're watching this, you have construction experience. You go, and maybe you say, Derek, I'm telling you now, on a job site, the drywall guy, gotta leave him so he can eat off the floor, bro, so the painters can go.
My dad did drywall for 45 years and he is the most neat freak person on earth. And I was not eating no food off no floors at any job site. Start to finish. Like, that's just, how clean do you expect it to be? Of course, that's an
exaggeration, right?
I know. I'm just saying, but not even close to that.
But after drywall, painter's going to have to clean. Going to have dust, right?
There's always going to be dust until everything is sealed up anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, but so if you're spraying paint, you're using the sprayer.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have too much dust or the paint's not going to stick to the walls.
Yeah. So dust it off.
But whose job is that?
I mean, I'm sure the drywall guy did a job of it, but it's not going to be like perfect. If the painter needs it to be more perfect than that, then like how easy is it to just right before you go?
Yeah. Well, you got to vacuum the floor. You get dust in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. In the end, it's on me, right? Because I'm playing general contractor here. Instead of just... I couldn't wait, but instead of just give the entire job to a general who he's going to sub the painter, he's going to sub the flooring, he's going to sub the electricians, he's sub everything. We're piecing it together. And so now it's my kuleana, right? These in between things.
Project
and so
manage everything.
So I'll probably have to eat, like having a cleaner go over there, potentially deal with the painter. The other option is like, hey, just give me the materials, give me the rest of my deposit back, minus the materials, and I'll just move on.
Mm-hmm.
If I gotta pay for a cleaner to go clean, if I gotta pay cleaners to go clean, then maybe we just let me go find a different painter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but we'll see. I'm actively. It's so fresh. I'm spilling.
That happened this morning.
That's why I was late. So I'm still in my gym clothes because I was go home to, to shower and stuff, but I ended up having to deal with that and then come over here. So, do you have questions in the chat or comments?
Not really questions.
Send them. What get?
Well, he said, sounds like the painter is like, I'm a painter, not a cleaner. Just didn't want to have to do any cleaning.
Yeah.
Jennifer, need the name of a reliable handyman and someone who can install a screen door in the Kapolei area.
Go hit us up on the website. I got a couple options for you. I want to understand where you live, and some things like that. But we have multiple handyman options for that.
That guy also said, I'd get a different painter as well.
Yeah. Who's that?
Said that? Dorav,
Oh, Duarave, do a
Oh,
rave.
yeah, hello. I didn't even try to read them like that.
Duarave, do a rave.
He's like, it's do a rave, be quiet. Like,
yeah.
you're spicing it up.
Yeah. He's like, I'm from Illinois. It's do a rave.
No other comments. Just a what's up to everybody.
Lokahi for life. Am I the only one here?
Hey, where you been, Lokahi for life? I feel like you.
Actually, I feel like he's been here, or he or she, because that
they're
name.
always here.
That name.
I recognize the name, but they haven't been here.
Really?
No, I don't remember.
I feel like I haven't missed the beat because I see the name so much. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, well, we do have multiple handymen, so just hit us up and we'll connect you. Yeah. I think I already know which one I'm gonna refer you to, but because I just referred my cousin to this guy. But yeah, let me know. And yeah, let us know, like, who are the contractors, painters, flooring people? Who do you like? Is there someone on island that you know of that we don't, that we should know of?
Yeah, big time. We're definitely, it's Oahu, it's Hawaii, it's all word of mouth, right? Yeah. And like, it's interesting because some of the best vendors you'll ever use have like no reviews on Google or no reviews on Yelp. And that's because Hawaii can be one of those like late to review online, but quick to tell all your friends and family who you went with. Yeah. So, you know, obviously we do a lot of like, I'll start myself when I'm searching for something on Google reviews or whatever. And as a vendor, guys, it's very important to ask your people that you help to leave you a review somewhere, because a lot of people start their searches that way.
Yeah.
But if there's somebody that's not popping up that you're like, oh, our family uses this guy, or, you know, my coworkers all use this guy, he's solid, or she's really good, XYZ, like, we would love to hear about it. So leave us a comment. Let us know whether you watch this, you're watching right now, or you watch this later. Let us know who all your favorites are on island. We'd love to talk to them too.
For sure.
Yeah.
That whole Hawaii thing, the guy who did our floor over here.
Yeah.
He was saying, I was telling him like, oh yeah, I got another flooring estimate. The guy had this meter. So you touch the meter to the ground. If it comes up over, 5 or 4.8 or whatever, then epoxy is required. And
for like releveling.
No, because if you're putting down certain flooring, you need a moisture barrier. Mm-hmm. So there's you scarify, so basically you're opening up the concrete, sanding the concrete. Mm-hmm. And then the epoxy can seep down far. And then it's kind of just like it seeps down and it blocks moisture. So because concrete is porous, it'll push out to the sides of the house and stuff rather than come up to your floor, especially when you're slab on grade, right?
Wait, do you want it to come up out of the floor?
You don't want it to mess up your flooring, right?
Okay, yeah.
Flooring, like moisture, wood, bad generally, right? Mm-hmm. So, or moisture, whatever.
Oh yeah,
so,
I didn't think about it that way.
So it's a dry coat, right?
Yes.
And so you do the epoxy, and then I believe you self-level over that. That's when you would self-level. But I was like, bro, you should get one of those meters, because the guy get the meter. And how is she gonna know if got moisture? And he's like, what I do. And he had a way, and I'm sure it works because he's a hammer, but he's like, I take one trash bag, I tape them down. I leave them for 2 days or a day or whatever. When I come back, if get moisture, I know she need epoxy. If no more moisture.
It's giving Uncle Larry. Like, it's giving
your dad.
Like, yeah, like some 1970s way that, before I had all the tools. And
imagine if never have meter. That's probably what they did, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I can give you advice, and he not the guy for really give advice, huh? And so I said, if somebody came and one guy go, I'm gonna tape this trash bag down, I come back, and the other guy get a meter. Most people gonna go with the meter, right? And he was offended. He's like, I tell you what. So this is back to the point of it being Hawaii. He's like, I tell you what, I don't care. They can go with the other guy, because this is Hawaii. And if they get me over there, it's because they know, either they know me or their friend who refer them know me. And I do them my way, and and this is Hawaii. And I was like, okay, bro, but that's not like a really radical thing for me to say. Like,
no. Why was he being like,
you're the defensive?
He was being the kind back to you. I mean, that's just
I
mean, that's how I act to him too. So I think that's just like base level how he acts,
No, it is, but brother,
That's
you
just
also like
punchy
more,
locals, like.
but you also want more jobs, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
also want more jobs.
Well, I mean, how much does that meter cost?
Don't matter. You gotta have one.
I mean, it would have to.
Imagine Kenji shows up and he goes, "You know how I do the zoom? But if you can zip up, I stretch them. The thing zoom, the light refract, the thing zoom." I would be like,
Yeah,
I like the guy with the glass lens.
I'm a camera guy, but I feel like that's probably like get one better way if I do that.
Yeah, I feel like these days,
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine he comes and get one freaking light bulb that and smoke. he goes, bro, the thing take nice picture. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like this is not the Great Depression.
1970s isn't old lokai for lifestyle. I'm like, no. But my dad was already a fully grown adult man working at that age. So I'm not 1970s is not old, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah, Uncle Larry is what, 45? He's born.
45, yeah.
Yeah. He's 1 year older than my dad.
Zero sum. Why are you did you donate money? Don't do that, guys.
Don't send money. Yeah, I wanted to see that. So Zero Sum sent money and said, "Aloha, I've been looking at homes on Realtor to get an idea of the different price points. Reached out to USAA to get an idea of how much home insurance would cost. They told me they are not actively writing policies. Who do locals get?" Wow. Well, so first of all, no need to send us money.
But
just buy houses with us and refer us to your friends. But yeah, USAA either in the last year plus has either stopped or limited the policies that they write. So it depends. State Farm, there's insurance brokers. Who do Jody guys always, what is their person?
Like Liberty Mutual.
Liberty Mutual.
Yeah, Liberty Mutual, State Farm.
Geico still can, but Geico doesn't hold their policies here. So if you want someone who holds their policy in Hawaii, they're not just brokering it to a mainland entity. Island Insurance, but Island Insurance has also throttled the amount of policies that they write in a certain area and at what price points, etc. It would depend on your flood zone.
Yeah.
Aiden on our team has a friend who's actually a State Farm broker, and what he'll tell you is, do your homeowner's policy through me, but let's broker your hurricane policy to someone else because they'll do it cheaper. It's just as good or better and cheaper. We just overcharge you for hurricane. So it really depends, and it depends on what you have. Let us know what you're looking at. 1970s isn't that old. Yeah. The guy who did my countertops did cardboard template, no lasers.
Yeah. And what? Is it straight? Does it look good?
I mean, for the outline, I feel like that's okay. Cardboard template. But not for the leveling.
I was like, oh,
yeah,
what?
like
nah. I mean, never have laser. They just use a level.
like the bubble level.
Yeah.
With the bubble in it.
Yeah. Which to this day, I still cannot do. I can't even hang a shelf. I'm so not handy considering like my father.
Oh, I was waiting for the point, like why were you ever supposed to be handy?
Because my dad. But that's why, because Princess, I can do drywall. I can do that.
You can do drywall.
I can do drywall.
You ain't doing no drywall.
I mean, can and will are two different things.
You're not doing what you mean do drywall? What does that mean?
If anybody punch one hole in my wall, I can fix them. Easy.
Really?
Yes. And you know what? I come from that kind of family where plenty of my cousins get pukas in the walls that me and my dad be patching.
Yeah.
We'd be patching them.
How you patch them?
Depends how big the puka is. You can either do fiberglass tape or maybe you got to do a little bit kind of sheetrock.
Okay, say the size of this MacBook right there, hole in the wall. How you patch that?
What you think, Derek?
How do you do it?
I chew up a ball of rice and then I smash it onto the wall and let it dry.
I think you would. Put light cheese scan over them.
Maybe. Nah, I just hang one plant in front.
Yeah.
I know how to do that thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I was impressed. You just measured
for the shop who was cutting.
Oh, what's up, Sam?
Yes, Island Insurance will never approve roof claims. Oh, Sam knows about roof claims. So no Island Insurance for roof claims. Yeah. I'm interested in Miliani or Core Ridge. Yeah, so There's plenty of options for
Yeah, there'd
insurance.
be a lot of options. Neither, depending on, especially if you're looking Coral Ridge, because those houses are new. I would say in these neighborhoods, the one, or I guess one, Mililani only. The of those neighborhoods, Mililani would be the one that would maybe you'd have a little bit more potential, like difficulty or restrictions based on how old the roof is.
It's
like,
possible they might want you like retrofit hurricane straps
Yeah.
on the roof if it was that type of roof and there weren't hurricane straps.
Coral Ridge
but-
is brand new, so I don't assume you'd have much difficulty finding a policy.
I get it that it's shocking that you're used to USAA everything, especially if that's people who are USAA people
Yeah.
are like that becomes part of, you know what I mean? That
Yeah, we
I'm
have
trying to think of
USAA,
another. It's like
and-
you're a Ford guy.
Yeah.
You only buy Ford or Toyota.
It's like, oh, I'm Navy Fed and USAA
Yeah.
for everything.
So to
Yeah.
then go outside and be like, oh, I had to buy a Dodge. It's like,
Yeah.
what? This doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You can go non-USA. Nothing. USA is expensive. I get it. They answer the phone. Hi. Well, thank you, petty officer. Thank you for your service. And they have amazing customer service, but they're expensive. I'd rather have somebody talk to me rude the way Mahe talks to me and have cheaper insurance.
But good the service, just rude a little bit. You can still get the thing done.
What? Just because we're talking about construction, the pigeon level is way thick on this
Just
podcast.
a tin cat. You know why? It's because you're like chameleon, like mimicking how your contractors are talking to you.
So they did
So I'm just like,
activate your gene.
yeah, I just like activated
The
the
gene
pigeon
expression.
gene.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's go to bragging about ourselves a little bit. Oh, easy.
Did you guys hear?
Did you guys hear
Did
the
you guys hear
sneeze
Kenny
in the other
laugh?
room?
Kenny laugh. Kenny sneeze.
Can you? All right. Okay. So Mahe has like 3 of these. I cannot read all of them.
No. Just pick one, not that one.
Why not?
Because I think we talked about it already.
Oh, really?
Think we did? I'm not sure.
Oh, that was yesterday.
Oh, I don't know.
That one's good. Okay, which one do you like me read then?
I don't care. They're both really long. So just pick whichever one is short, I
Okay.
guess.
From Mark.
You guys are
With a
so
C.
sweet. Thank you guys so much.
Mahe recently came through for us in a big way. My wife and I had rearranged our schedule and spent
This is a
spent
good
the
one.
money to
Yeah.
fly into Honolulu. And so I'm going to basically, they spent money to fly here for a new build condo to
Which
do
had
the
been-
inspection.
This trip had been planned for a long time too.
And
Known to the
they're
developer.
in the air. And then the builder says, oh, you cannot do the inspection. And Mahe takes off her earrings, takes off her nails, unclips her nails, and is like, no, we're doing the inspection. And so long story, she forced it. She said, no, you're not going to do this. And he goes on to say, thanks to Mahe's recommendation, we hired an inspector who did an impressive, thorough job. We're incredibly grateful to Mahe for being so on top of things and making it all work. Mark with a C. That's part of why like, you should go with us, right? That's part of why, even if you're buying new construction, contact us. When you buy new construction, the price doesn't change if you forego using an agent.
Yeah.
That agent should be us. And when things like this happen, do you think the builder would have, without other pressure, would have said, okay, well, we're going to break protocol and go against what our like trillionaire building group says, and we're just going to do your home inspection today? If you did not have representation, you fly into Hawaii or you whatever, maybe you local and you canceled your Disney trip for this.
Mm-hmm.
No, we doing them, you know? And
that was the thing. They had already rescheduled their trips once before to accommodate a change in the inspection date prior. And they're not just like coming from one place either. It's like, I'm coming from New York and my wife is going to come in from Japan. Like, this is like a lot of moving pieces that they had to make happen in order to be present for this, which they planned for all year.
Okay.
And to get a notification that they can't even see because they're on their way over, they're flying in the air, and it's not even 24 hours before the scheduled inspection that we were supposed to be at. And to delay it by a month, not by like a week,
a day,
or a
tomorrow.
day. Yeah, it was like, we're going to delay this whole thing by a month. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a problem because my clients are flying in. They've already readjusted their schedule and rearranged flights once before. and they are now in the air and they cannot even speak for themselves. And like, they have not even gotten this notification. They're going to get off the plane and see that they're here for nothing.
Yeah.
Like that can't happen. We're not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just the back and forth all day. But at the end of the day, they got off the plane to just a bombardment of like, hey guys, don't worry. I'm handling this. And then their last text was like, all right, it's pushed back by like, 3 hours, but we're still doing it tomorrow. So that's
within tolerance.
Yeah.
Later that day.
Yeah. Later that day. And then I also had to like, coordinate with the inspector because vendors also now at the last minute have to modify their schedule and make sure that they have an opening at this new proposed time with less than a day's notice.
Right. Right.
So,
That's another thing.
So there's a lot of things. So moral of the story is it doesn't cost you anything more to have somebody help advocate for you who doesn't represent the builder.
Yeah.
And I can't say with certainty that they wouldn't have, accommodated them if just the buyers arrived and were like, oh my gosh, what are you guys talking about? Maybe, but why do you want to handle that kind of stress? Like, let us do that for you guys.
Yeah. Like I should not be handling my renovations right now.
Yeah.
When looking for, so Kevin Davis says, when looking for contractors for large projects, what do you do for project managers, which are so expensive to manage the project? Well, if you're paying top dollar for a general, they are then the project manager, right? And so there's less for you to have to deal with. But then if you want to sub, and then I actually considered hiring a project manager and I just didn't. I probably should have. Then I wouldn't have to deal with this whole painting thing right now. I don't know. You know what I would do? I'd probably go to like the flippers that I know and say, hey, who do you like? Stacy.
Yeah.
I go to her. I thought of going to her and say, hey, who have you used for project management in the past? And can you give me their number? But I don't know. I should have. I just didn't.
Now it's like, I just want to get this done.
Yeah. No, just like, yeah. Now I just like scrap. Aloha State of Mind says, you think more better to buy cheap? We think more better to buy cheap place that needs remodel or turnkey. That's up to you. If you can find a bust up place and you have the ability, propensity, and skills to deal with managing people and things, and you have also the money, because you really need the money to fix things up as well. So if you have that and the deal is right, go do that. That's kind of what I did. I had an opportunity to buy a beautiful turnkey home. It just, actually, I wish I would have, but didn't have the yard that I wanted. And so we didn't buy it. But
yeah, that's not really a general across the board answer for that. It just depends on you. Depends on, your capacity, both like with money, with liquidity to get projects done. Because the one hand is, there's potential to get it done for cheaper because you can do the labor and you know how to do this, or you're handy, or you are a retired contractor, or whatever the thing might be. And you can force equity, you can force value into the home. But there's also value in like, hey, like, we just bought a car, or my kids are both in college or paying tuition. I would rather finance all of the work, like all the remodeling work. I'd rather be able to finance that into my loan to purchase the house and just like not mess with it anymore. There's two camps, right? So it kind of depends on your situation. And a lot of people are in the sweet spot of like just cosmetic stuff, stuff that like if they did it, they could probably get another 50 grand. But I can do that. I can do carpet, I can
apparently Mahi can do drywall.
I can do drywall. I can do carpet. I can do whatever.
And there are construction loans or renovation loans. They're not done as commonly. So usually when someone seeks to do something of that nature, they're not going to, but occasionally someone does. So, those are interesting things as well. Do you have an electrician on the west side? Needs to look at water heater, fans, and lights. Yes, I do have an electrician. Where on the west side? What kind? Water heaters, fans, and lights. Tell me what you're thinking in terms of where on the west side, when, and shoot us a text, shoot us a message, or go on the website, go to the bottom, fill out the contact form. Let Charlotte, who will contact you, know that you were your MI on YouTube, and asked about an electrician referral for the West Side, and I'll work through Charlotte to get that to you, or shoot me a text. What's Aloha state of mind?
How many days on the market before you can make an offer 10% plus below asking price, even if already reduced?
You could make 10% below asking. You can make one the second it goes on the market. There's no threshold to that. I think what you're trying to ask is, in general, if I'm trying to bid low, at what point can I? And there's no one answer for that.
Yeah, that's just no one answer for that. It depends on the property. It depends on potentially like the seller situation, their needs. If, they're at a point where maybe they're like, oh, we're just going to pull it already if we don't get something like.
And I will say there is a bit of an arbitrary nature to 10% below asking. Now, I'll give someone credit and say that from an investor standpoint, you look at percentages and numbers, but are you an investor or are you a buyer?
Yeah.
Are you a retail
buyer or an investor?
Investor? There are different things, and we will define them and move forward based on, how we define you and your process and your needs and your wants and your timelines and your exits.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because if you are coming into the purchase, or if you're coming into the purchasing process with the mindset of, I only want to offer on things if I can offer 10% or more under it, then that's a different conversation as well. And that's potentially like, okay, well, do we want a house that is a good deal, therefore I'm at least partially an investor, or do we have a need for a home? Like those are two different things. So, but if the question is like, oh, when can I start to go for the throat?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you another reason why it's somewhat arbitrary, or actually I'll tell you why it's entirely arbitrary. That approach is predicated on the asking price being this objective supposed market value. All right. So you have this yellow house right here. And let's say this yellow house was listed at $1 million. I know people that have $900,000 houses that list them for $1 million. And then I know buyers who buy that home for $910,000 and feel they got a deal because it was previously listed at $1 million. Don't be the person who goes to Macy's and they're having a sale, so you feel you got a deal that you bought the shoes because they were on sale. You didn't need the shoes. You wanted other shoes, and they were only on sale from their recent marked up value. So the $50 shoes were marked up to $100 and then marked 50% off. And then you felt you got a deal. Let's not be those people. We want to help you be more nuanced, more skilled, more thoughtful than that, smarter than that. And so 10% below asking, like just the word asking is a word that like raises my hair follicles. I'm not saying I'm like in an insulting way or being angry at you for asking the question, but asking like I would almost not mind it if there were no prices on the MLS. They're just homes, because it would require so much more skill from the agents that I feel like we would end up with way more business. Asking is just asking. Asking is nothing. Asking has way less bearing on the price of the home than you would think. I got under asking on the home that I purchased recently. I also overpaid. They were asking so much that me going under asking, I still overpaid. And I know that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, asking. But to answer your question, how long would a home, if we wanted to speak more generally and generically, I would say homes would be on the market. It depends on what home too, right? So if it's,
perhaps it's been on the market for so long because it's been tenant occupied and their lease just ended, so now everybody's coming and looking at it.
Kenny and I just had a home that was on the market for a long time for certain reasons. We held showings for like 3 weeks. And then that built up a dam of like 5 showings. when we released the dam and let the 5 showings happen, we ended up with multiple competitive offers over asking.
Yeah.
And so even though it had been on the market a long time, that didn't equate to going under asking on us.
Yeah.
Also, an example I think of, let's say it's Eva Beach, it's Ocean Point.
Mm-hmm.
I either know the agent or I stalk the sellers. Don't report me. I look at the tax record. I see that the seller is Kyle Smith, and I Facebook that person, and I look at, they're PCSing, they're moving, and I look at it and I go, they bought in 23, so their interest rate's probably this. They bought for $1 million, so their payment's probably this. If they were to rent this, it would cost that. They're trying to list it for this. I see the agent they're listing with. That agent didn't have a hard conversation with them and tell them that I know that agent just like, all right, whatever you want to list for, we'll work on improving the price later. Maybe I'll go low on this one sooner because they just wanted to, maybe only 2 weeks have gone by, 2 weekends, it hasn't sold, 3 weeks. And they're like, okay, tested the market. We knew that was unrealistic. Now I'll go lower, Or maybe like Mahi said, it's a unique home in Kailua and it doesn't matter that it's been on the market for 60 days. It will yield that price, know.
And I've definitely seen some sellers who are like, you're crazy, you're high. Like,
what do you mean?
Like their price is way too high. They've been way too high for too long. However, I'll go and look at their records and it's like, oh, you owe nothing on this house. So
that's a good point.
You are under no like pain or pressure to unload it until the market matches your opinion of the home.
I feel like I've been in a situation like that where I'm like, yeah, you're high. You're asking way too much. But then when I drive by, I still see Grandpa out there with his gloves on, doing the yard work. Like, it's not like he's, in no way is he showing me signs of I'm leaving.
Yeah.
There's one like that in Mililani, by close to where I live. The old lady, she overvalued opinion of her house. She over there every day doing yard work. They bought it a long time ago. They probably own it free and clear. They're committed to their price, and it's America. They can be. What else we got? Any questions?
91 Juan. Hi guys, we have, I love this next typo coming up. I love it. Anyway, hi guys, we have always fancied buying a house that backs into a golf course, but always have this fear that one day we'll find out the golf course will be sold to developers. Is that a valid concern?
I don't think so. I don't think that, any concern is valid to some extent. However, I think that urban planners and municipal planners, when they're planning the community, they intentionally put golf courses in certain places it's something to do with like the water runoff and the marsh, and like you need golf courses, and so they're zoned a certain way. Now could some golf courses like the one in Makaha Valley end up with hotels around it and things like that? Yes, but for the most part, if I'm buying in Ho'akale in Ocean Point, if I'm buying near golf courses, for the most part, I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that at all. But I am worried about buying I just went golfing this past weekend.
I saw.
And I go like once a year.
I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah. 300 yards I drive on.
I don't have any concept of what that means.
That's Hamo.
Okay.
Leave us a comment. 300 yards. Tell her what that means.
I was like, 300. That seems kind of high. And is your score supposed to be low in golf?
No. I drove the ball 300 yards, but
in what direction? Towards the puka or no?
Mostly straight. This one was a little bit. You could play them, but it was kind of out of bounds.
I'm just like imagining like a Happy Gilmore style swing where you like approach from 10 feet behind and just slam the ball. However, that's what I imagine.
You never know me in my athletic peak.
I know you're fast AF, right? Boy,
I'm telling you, I was on the fastest. It's true. But where were we going with that? Where were we?
I don't know.
No, what was the comment?
Just, is there a concern being next to golf courses?
Oh, yeah, because I went golfing. I would want to make sure I try and minimize the golf balls hitting my house. Right?
I was just gonna say I'd probably be more worried about that.
And so certain holes, like the T's here and then that hole ended over there. Like the chances of you getting hit are a lot lower than other holes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do a rave or whatever, however you say that. Said typo, but I love it. You gays/gals at Core Team Hawaii. Which of you have the most experience underwriting for purchasing a home on Maui? Guys and gals.
The gayest of us
is the only girl.
is the one. Mahi lived on Maui for in between Maui and Molokai like a decade, right?
Plus. Yeah,
and
over a decade, yeah.
And so underwriting, using that term, like we all can run numbers, and even if you're talking about something creative and Mahi wants to bounce it off me or whatever, then that's what we're doing. But in terms of who knows Maui best, Mahi for sure. Like,
yes, that would be me.
We've referred multiple clients to our partners on Maui. Maui is a place where we actually have multiple, depending like
what location, what part of the island you're on,
your vibe check.
Like, yeah,
we got your different people for you.
Are you like a short-term rental person, or what are your goals?
Yeah, but the one deal that we actually did on Maui ourselves without referring it out, because we don't put our interest in front of yours, right? Yeah. And so we don't just take the Maui stuff because we want the Maui commission. We refer you, but this one they want to work with us. They're focused on a house, and Mahi is like, oh, I walk up and down that street for years. Like, I know that house.
Yeah. So I would say definitely I have the most experience on the team with Maui. And if you have questions about Maui, especially if you're somebody who's like considering Maui versus Oahu, I'd be like a really good resource to talk to about that. However, if it ends up being that you're going to like throw your name in the hat for Maui totally and explicitly, a lot of the times it just makes more sense for you, and it's more to your benefit for us to hook you up with, one of our trusted partners there who, depending on, what you're looking for, the vibe, your personality, will link you up with, instead of, trying to hold that on for ourselves. Like, we don't care about that. We just want to make sure that you're taken care of as best as possible. So sometimes that means we start because it's like, hey, I'm a fan of your guys' YouTube. I know and trust you guys, and I want to talk to you and bounce this off of you. Sometimes it starts with that, and that's fine. You can go to the contact form at coreteamhawaii.com and just say, hey, I want to talk to you about like Maui versus Oahu.
Yeah.
And we can set that up. And if it ends up being you're staying on Oahu, great. Welcome to the family.
Or sometimes it's I'm dead set on Maui. But I'm not sure where.
Yeah. And I don't have anybody like there to plug into that I know or trust. And like,
you may not even need to talk to us. We just refer you to one of our people.
Yes.
We just find the fit.
Yes.
We're going to learn enough about you to make sure we make the right referral. But, interestingly enough, I think that the higher in price point, the more likely we would do the outside island deal. One, because there's more money to be had, right? So I can justify waking up and catching the first flight to Big Island or Kauai or Maui, multiple times if we're doing a $10 million purchase or whatever, right? And make sense of that. Now, if I need to partner with someone there for certain reasons, I have done that as well. Like, I'm still on the deal, but I partner with the guy on Kauai or whatever. But
boots on ground, yeah.
So my boots on ground, I go to the inspection, or if I gotta follow up on a handyman repair, then there's someone who lives there, right? Yeah. And so from the beginning, we partner and bring that person in and share the revenue with them so that we can have that partner boots on ground. But try to think about it. Like, if you get up to, a $6, $7, $8 million deal in a certain part of Maui or whatever, that buyer is less worried about, tell me about the school district here, whatever. Like, they're buying for different reasons.
Yeah.
They're buying, $8 million in Kula because they have frequented it. They like Kula. They, whatever the reason, it's actually less about teaching them about the area. It's more about the experience and the connection. And so for reasons other than just the revenue generation, we may be more likely to do that bigger deal on Maui, because it's appropriate.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah. I think we're going to wrap it there. We have any questions?
No, I think we hit.
Let's give Ken. I'm going to read one of Kenny's brags. So the safe surveys were for Kenny and Mahi today. So Shandy says we're all good here. We're settling in, and Kenny is still doing a great job as our agent. Shandy came to us. She had a different agent, was recommended by family, said, can't work with you, realtor ethics, blah, blah, blah. She said, no, we've already broken the contract. I said, okay. well, if you're not in contract with an agent, then let's talk. And they were just like, look, we don't need you every minute, Derek. Like, we understand that you run the business and the team and all that. We need someone who's willing to work with us, willing to work for us, willing to partner with us, and just feel like we're not alone in this process. And Kenny stepped up and crushed it for them, and now they're in a home.
Nice.
That one was so short. Oh, well, this other one, actually, the other one from Jeremy just basically says, it's not much Kenny can do. I have to sell my other house on the mainland. And Kenny, even though he doesn't have to, he's still helping me. And so good job to Kenny on that.
Nice.
Any questions or comments before we go?
No. Do a rave, or however you say your name, said 3 to 5 million.
3 to 5. Well, yeah, reach out to us. It may be something that makes sense for Mahi and I to be flying to Maui, or maybe we'll bring Kenji and we'll do a video, which we've done before.
Yeah.
We did it when we
did
were
it like that last time.
That's how we did it. Yeah, we made a day out of it, and so we could do that.
Aloha, did you answer my question regarding the electrician? You can
Oh yeah, we did. Basically, reach out to us. Either text me or go to the website. Go to the bottom, fill out the contact form. Let us know more. Where on the west side? You deep Makaha, you Nanakuli. What is it? Can you send pictures? But we do have electricians, and I'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, and then do a rave. Thanks for the info. He says, I'm curious, what part of Maui are you looking at?
Yeah, we want to know.
Yeah. Which side? Which is when we went, which was your favorite side of the island? I'm going this weekend actually to Maui. I'll be there.
Bruh, someone posted pictures of and it looked like it was like a mainland forest. And I was like, where's this? I thought they were
just up country where all the pine trees are?
Yeah, I thought they were in Oregon or something.
Yeah.
And then she said it was like not a Hawaiian name. It was like Miller's Forest or
Hana says do a rave.
Oh, Hana. Oh, interesting. Are you going to live there full time? Like, that's a commitment to live out there.
It is
year round.
to live out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I love Hana, but it's definitely like a trek to get out there. It's not like the
you gotta be
hospitals or
committed to that
anything. Yeah, you got to be
life,
committed
right?
to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta find this thing about
With the forest
regarding Maui. Yeah. Oh no.
Sort of, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
You have to go up the mountain.
Oh, I don't know. I just looked at it and I was like, oh, that looks cool. Where is that? Oh, Hosmer's Grove.
Hosmer's Grove.
It's a trail on our way up to Haleakala.
Oh, I get plenty up there kind
Yeah.
action. You guys gotta go spend a little bit more time. You guys went up country too, yeah?
I never did.
Oh, I thought you guys were gonna stay up country that one time.
I never made that trip.
Oh, okay.
And I thought about doing it in the next couple of weeks, but all this contractor stuff, like
yeah. Maybe wait till your contractor stuff is gone. You guys can relax.
Yeah. But can't where Kenji and Ty went. I like stay in that cabin on the ranch.
Oh,
yeah. You don't want to plug for that.
I know. I was just gonna go over there, name drop Kenji.
You don't have a hat.
I know.
You need like a branded hat.
She's referencing Kenji and his cowboy hat.
I wish this was like not alive so that he could like pull up a picture of him and Taisei with their hats on.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, sorry, finger guns in the pocket, big hat.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you. And if we miss questions, we'll get them later. So pop them in there.